Hello, my name is Anthony Jesse, and I would like to talk about psychosis as it pertains to bipolar disorder. Psychosis is generally associated with schizophrenia, but bipolar disorder is it's common with bipolar disorder as well. I have bipolar disorder, and I experience psychosis in both mania and depression. Now, there are two different types of psychosis. There's delusions, and then there's hallucinations. A delusion is a very strong belief in something that isn't true. Uh, there are two different types of delusions. There are grandiose delusions and paranoid delusions. Sometimes paranoid delusions are called persecutory delusions. Grandiose delusions are when you believe you are someone great or have superpowers. So, for instance, you might believe you're the president of the United States. In a less severe form, you might just believe you're destined for greatness. For example, you might believe that you are going to be the next president of the United States. Paranoid delusions, or sometimes what are called persecutory delusions, you believe there is like a conspiracy against you. This is very common. It like I believed that the government was spying on me. Sometimes with paranoid delusions, you might believe that someone is reading your mind. This is thought to be a very serious form of that. There are several subcategories of delusions. The On the paranoid delusion side, there's something called melor. It's a very serious delusion in which you believe that someone's controlling your body. I, for instance, believed that the government was making me fall on purpose to injure myself. Another subcategory is somatic delusion, and that's when you believe that you are sick or you're deformed, and this is against any evidence to the contrary. On the grandiose side, there are subcategories as well, and one of these is something called erotomania. Now, erotomania is when you believe someone famous, like Meghan Markle, is in love with you. Fortunately, I haven't experienced this. A final subcategory of grandiose delusions is something called religious type delusion, and that's when you believe you're like the second coming of Christ or the Messiah. This is pretty common, especially with the mania. Hallucination is the other main form of psychosis. Uh, you might hear, see, or smell things that aren't there. Audio hallucinations are hearing things that aren't there. And in audio hallucinations, you might hear voices talking or hear noises. I've experienced both of those. In visual hallucinations, you're seeing things that aren't there. These are more common with schizophrenia, but I've also experienced this, and you can have it in bipolar disorder as well. A very rare form of hallucination is something called olfactory hallucinations, and these are smelling things that aren't there. I haven't experienced this, and like I said, it's pretty rare. There is something that is very specific to bipolar disorder, and that's the concept of mood congruence versus mood incongruence. Now, mood congruence is when your psychosis matches up or is in sync with your mood. So, for instance, in mania, grandiose thinking is very common. So, having grandiose delusions while manic is considered congruent. Um, Incongruence, on the other hand, is when your moods don't sync up with your psychosis. Uh, One of the things with mood incongruence is sometimes you have thoughts where people are reading your mind or having melor in which they believe they're controlling your body. This is considered very serious and oftentimes leads to hospitalization. I have experienced incongruence, and unfortunately, I was hospitalized for quite some time. In my experience, uh, psychosis, the only way to get rid of psychosis is to hit on the proper medications. No amount of logic will get you to believe that your hallucinations or your delusions are not true. I believed my psychosis very strongly until my psychiatrist hit on the right medications for me. Now I take my medications religiously, and now I'm psychosis free. So if you're someone who believes that the government is after you or that you're the Messiah or whatever, please talk with your psychiatrist, try different medications, and hopefully you'll find something that works for you and you'll be symptom free. So my name is Anthony Jesse, and thank you for listening.